This was a little different than the other debates we've been seeing because we had 3 candidates on stage, each with very different perspectives.
Chris Stewart said Trump was, quote, our Mussolini. Over the last 4 years, he has acted as Mussolini's representative to Utah.
To give our community a real choice rather than the false choice between Imperialist Party A and Imperialist Party B.
Gentlemen who are appearing here on the stage, I am by far the most qualified to represent this district. And I think it comes down to a couple things. One, are you a person of integrity? Are you willing to work hard? Do you listen to others?
Congressman Chris Stewart faced his Libertarian and Democratic challengers as they debated a number of issues. They discussed whether the feds should be involved in COVID-19.
Don't believe that the federal government has a role to play in here.
I just disagree. I think the federal government has not only a role, but an important role. President Trump had a responsibility to act, and he did.
I absolutely disagree with both of my opponents on this question. Mr. Stewart calls this a remarkable success. Utah is number 4 in the country for COVID infections.
While Congressman Stewart says there are things the president could have done better, his opponents criticized the response and offered different philosophies on economic stimulus.
Because we view prohibition as so much more harmful than the harm that we're prohibiting, we feel that it's better to be punished by the outcomes of those exposures.
I believe in telling the truth. The White House is a super spreader location, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It didn't need to be.
Cale, you can't have it both ways. You can't politicize everything about this. You said the White House was super spreader events. You never said a word about the hundreds and hundreds of demonstrations that take place every night.
The 3 candidates faced off over the Affordable Care Act and its future. Congressman Stewart voted to repeal, but insisted there was always a plan to replace.
Look, I'm on Obamacare. A lot of people don't realize that. One of the provisions of it was that those of us in Congress have to be under Obamacare. I know how bad it is. I know how expensive it is.
I think a majority of Utahns would trade their health care for what a member of Congress has.
Well, they can do that anytime. They can always go on Obamacare.
It's not the same. I'm on the individual market, which is Obamacare.
It is exactly the same. My health care is Obamacare. It's available to anyone.
If you just let me finish, then we can have a conversation.
I don't want a limited selection of choices. I want a wide range of choices. I don't want the shortages and rationing that comes with any socialized service. I want to liberate health care from the politicians and the bureaucrats.
The latest polling shows Stewart with a comfortable lead over his opponents, but he says he's focused on his district.
I think we have a responsibility to work really hard. I have a responsibility to the people in the district to make myself available, to explain my views.
I'm in this to build our party. I think Utah used to be a healthy 2-party state. That's good for everyone. It's even good for Republicans.
I hope they realize that it's an option that they ought to consider and that it's making progress.
Now, if you missed it, we posted the entire debate for you to watch, as well as other election resources. Check it out at fox13now.com. On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.